Morning, everybody. It is 8:10 a.m. It is May 24th. Welcome to my channel. Yesterday in the markets, we had a we were gapping up, and then we came crashing down. We bounced. The market internals were super weak, though. Okay, weaker than I've seen them in a while, and we made a move right back up to around the most traded price of the week and the month in the ES, and it was struggling, and the market was still weak besides Nvidia. And then it dumped pretty hard. As I said in the scenarios yesterday, that I said I don't know if that was probable, but if it did do what I said, it would fall, which it did. So who knows if that's profit taking from this long rally that the markets had before the holiday weekend, because markets closed on Mondays. We'll see. But it's just interesting that Nvidia yesterday, because I was actually in short, and Nvidia was going higher. In every little push down in Nvidia would make the market sell off further, even though even though Nvidia's candle was growing and making higher lows. Each time there was a tiny selling in that green candle, the market would go lower. It was so crazy. So finally, when Nvidia had a red candle, like a 15-minute candle, finally the market was able to really push down, and that's why you saw it violently sell off. But really, really, really see the power of the weight of Nvidia in the market. It was really something to see, because it was crazy to see that. Um, anyway, let's get into this. All right. Without further ado, welcome to my channel. My name is Steve Gonzalez. I use market profile and volume profile font structure in the market specifically yesterday, right? And also supply and demand, gamma exposure, anchor VWAPs, most traded price of the rolling year, the current year, the rolling month, the rolling week, previous day. Just helps me find structure in this market. Okay, if you want to lean against something, and it doesn't have to be my way, but this is my way to look at the market, have a game plan, look at it very quickly with all these levels, and then just get a roadmap out, right? So this every morning at 8:10 a.m. Okay, I usually start off with talking about what happened yesterday. Then we'll go into the watch list and futures, and see what's moving markets, right? What some news, economic data that's coming out, why stocks are moving up, why stocks are moving down. What else? Might go over upgrades and downgrades if they are important. All right. And then on 8:30, around 8:30, I also go over some daily charts. But then at 8:30 is really we get into the nuts and the bolts of scenarios. Okay, that's where I map out my game plan. All right, and I do it live with you guys every day. There is no pre thing I look at, and I do it live. But the ability to do it live is because I have my chart set up. Okay, that's the power of my system, right? My foundation is that I can look at it very quickly and come up with scenarios. Okay, I've been doing this with these charts for maybe I don't know, almost 5 years, but probably closer to four and change. Just looking at it, and it was not easy to look at this and get that game plan. It did not come very easily. Okay, took a lot of work to be able to look at it and now see it right quickly, right? So join me every day, okay? Subscribe, set an alert. All right, this is your one-stop shop, basically, for news. If you want to, it's around. I do it around 30 minutes every day. You know, hopefully you can join me. All right, and if you like it, you can give me a big thumbs up. That would be much appreciated. Okay, you can always follow me on X also at Gonzo719. All right, now let's just go right into the watch list for futures and see what's going on this morning. All right, silver's leading the pack, up 0.82. Okay, We got Bitcoin up 0.61, Russell's up 0.51. So the market's getting a little bounce. ES up 0.25, Nasdaq up 0.24. Gold is up 0.18. Dow's up 0.12. Okay, Dow really sold off yesterday with Boeing, and 10-year yield hasn't reported yet, right? So the crude really, man, I regret not. Crude hit a downtrend line and literally sold off to the bottom of this huge important level today. So now it's kind of maybe flipping me to want to maybe try a long in crude. I have to see some things to happen, but crude really is hitting key level again. 30-year bonds are being sold. Okay, that should have the 10-year yield rise a little bit. We'll see. Dollar is down 0.25%. Now the dollar being down will be good for equities. VIX is down 1.25%. Right, we were down to an 11 VIX yesterday prior to the market, but then we jumped right back up to a 12. That's not a lot of fear, but it's a jump in the VIX. Ether is down 1.74%. Okay. Moving on to the Mag 7 Plus. We got Coinbase up 1.96, took a little dip yesterday. Nvidia back up 1%. All right. Big gamma level was 1050 in Nvidia. Okay. AMD's up 0.74. Nvidia is up. AMD is up 0.74. Boeing took a dive yesterday. They're up 0.55. Apple up 0.54. So little things are bouncing. Only negative is BABA. All right, that doesn't really move the market. Okay, so moving on. Top sector stocks. What do we have here? We have Qualcomm up 0.74. Eli Lilly up 0.44. Costco up 0.33. You got Exxon up 0.32, even though crude's falling. Like I said, crude and energy stocks don't always go together. All right, now, is there a laggard? Yes, there is. Salesforce. Okay, they have earnings. Now, I'm not sure if Salesforce is selling off necessarily because of Workday. Now, Workday had earnings and then they were not good. It's human resources software, so that wasn't really looking too hot. Now, swing trades. Swing trades here. We got Ross. All right. What happened? Ross had earnings. Okay, they are up 6.93%. Burlington up 2.87%. AMC up 2.42%. Dell up 2.23%. GameStop up 1.9%. Supermicro computers. All right, those are what's up. Micron. All right, Vertiv. Is there laggards today? Yes. Workday. That's about it. That's the only stock that's really down at all. So that says something, right? That's Workday. Now, sectors. Leading the pack is semiconductors. Okay, up 0.68 with Nvidia, followed by discretionary, followed by technology. All right. Now, that is that, right? Now, what I wanted to talk about is the internals that I track when I'm gonna trade, right? And I just want to show you that picture. It's like all bloody red here with the internals. Okay, now these internals have not really they've been benign lately. But let's look at yesterday. Okay, all deep red. Right. Now I said these sectors is what drives the market. XLK, 29.2% of the market. Financials, 13.1. Healthcare, 12.3. Right? Discretionary, 10.3. Those are the big boys. All right. This here kind of puts that into a chart. And look at that dip right at about 12:30. The market started to just get so weak. Okay. You could see the SPY here, right? And you can look at the VIX rise up, right? So very weak. This has not been like this for a while to show this much weakness. That's what gave me confidence in shorting, which I shorted around like 531 right here. Right there. Okay, just wanted to show you that, because if I zoom it out here, look at this benign. See how big this is, and look how little this market with low volume. Look at that, it's indecisive market. Okay, just wanted to show you guys that, how different yesterday is compared to what we've been seeing, which is not great markets to trade. Okay, just shows its proof right there. All right, now we're going to get right into economic calendar. I didn't see any key upgrades or downgrades, so I'm probably going to skip that. Now today, we do have data coming out that moved the market last week, or not, maybe not last week, maybe my memory's bad. But let's say today, 8:30 durable goods, that doesn't really use the market. 9:35 Fed Waller speaking. 9:35, really? 5 minutes after the market opens. 10 a.m. you got Michigan consumer sentiment. That was a big miss the last time. So we'll see here, because it's a consensus is 67 and a half. All right, so that's a lower number. Let's see how that comes out. I don't want to really be in a trade around 10 a.m. in case you get stopped. All right, that's what's going on there. Now, a little bit of news here. Nvidia is still pushing up. Now, Nvidia, they're having a 10-to-1 stock split. Okay, so that stock right now is going to be worth around like $100 when the split happens, and I believe that split happens. It was June 6th. No, June 10th. Okay, June 10th they're doing that split. So that's going to bring more people to buy Nvidia. That's probably right now what's pushing it up, because if you buy 100 shares now, or even 10 shares, I don't even want to do my math wrong. Yeah, if you brought 10 shares right now, right, you'll have 10 times that. You'll have 100 shares come that day. So whatever you have now, you'll have 10 times as many shares. So, okay, so Tesla is actually cutting its output to best-selling Model Y electric car by double-digit percentage. Workday stock slumped. Boeing slumped after China news. Lucid stock rose 1.5. The EV maker said it would reduce its workforce by 6%, so they're making some cuts. All right, let's look at some other news here. See, Nvidia, this is interesting, right? Nvidia is cutting China's prices in Huawei chip fight. Cutting prices, and that's not good for margins, but let's see, Micron hit 445 million U.S. verdict in netless patent trial. Okay, Boeing updates training. Okay, just trying to see. I know Ross Stores. Yeah, we talked about Ross. J.P. Morgan, Micron, Nvidia, Tesla. Not really seeing much here. Let's see here. Apple raises target price 275 from 250. FedEx, JP Morgan cuts target price. Okay. Like I said, upgrades, downgrades today, I'm not really that crazy about those. I think we can get right into daily charts. What a crazy day yesterday was. Pretty much the scenarios I laid out yesterday in my video came out to fruition, almost two of them, for the bullish side and for the short side. Pretty cool. All right, now let's get into this and let's see what we did. So it's a pretty massive selling candle, especially when you open gapping up so much. And then what happened? The froth was taken off, right? And then you got a bounce midday around up to here. And then it was all down, she wrote, right? And look what this candle did. It took out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 candles. That's a bearish engulfing candle here. It took out 6 days of trading. And where did we go? Look, we almost went. That's why I have these levels on my chart. The daily chart, but I can see monthly and weekly levels, right? So what did we do? We went above, we opened above last week's highs. We closed, or we went down to this trend line here and the previous month's highs. Okay? Previous month's highs was basically support. Okay, where are we at now? 527.09, 527.09. We are down here. Okay, right now. We are down here. Now, the market right now getting a little bounce, but it's pretty much telling us it's accepting these lower prices right now. So accepting the lower prices. Now let's look at futures so we can see actually what's going on. Okay, you can see the big wick up here in futures. Wham, slam down. Right, and look what we're doing here. You're accepting yesterday's lower prices. Here's a 9 EMA on a daily. Okay, so you got a little wick here. So in ES, can we bring it down to here? 52.63. Okay, got the 20-day simple moving average here. We just have to see. Remember, I think this market will die after 11:30, 12 because people are probably going away for the 3-day weekend. Okay, I expect, because we got good volume right now. So let's look at the Qs. Look at the Qs, boy. Look at that. Now 460 was a very big gamma level. All right, so it passed it, but look at that, just all the way up there, and then wham, closed below last week's highs. Now the Qs were stronger. Nvidia was pushing up. So what did it do? This only can muster, let's see here, taking out 2 days. 2 days. All right, then you got that buying excess here. Didn't even touch the 9 EMA daily. Okay, so you can see this is relatively strong. Let's look at it, what it looks like now in the futures. All right, so there's that big wick up, and then boom. Now look what's happening. It's getting a little selling right here in last week's highs. Okay, last week's highs. Now futures, look what we did. We came right down to last month's highs. That was support. And the 9 EMA daily, that hit. Okay, so very, very, very interesting here. Okay, we still have 9 EMA daily. I mean, this is where this market has been. Look, we haven't touched that for a while. You just have to see what happens here. Okay, where is this Qs now? I should have said that before. So Qs now 454.46, 454.46, about right here. So Qs are also accepting lower prices. You know, you can have a theory on this, being that maybe we were so overbought. I mean, look at this, up, 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 right? Nvidia in earnings caused this big. Maybe people said, all right, let me take some profit, right? Let me take some profit. This has run up a lot, right? And we're going into a weekend, 3-day weekend, so who knows? Now let's concentrate on our triple-headed monster, okay? Our triple-headed monster here. So yields are rising. 10-year yield is up. It's up 0.31%. So you can see it's continued to rise. Now, like I said, this swing high here is very important, around 4.5 yield. What does it do when we get there? Do you break that and start going back up? That will put weight on the markets. Okay, and remember, we have an election coming. What does an election bring? Indecision. We don't know who the president's going to be. Okay, are you people going to want to have risk in the markets when you don't know who our president's going to be? Okay, just think about it. So yields are rising. Okay, I'm not guaranteeing we sell off or anything. I'm just saying you got to take note of it. You have to take note of it. Now our dollar. Now the dollar is rising. Now you're getting a little selling here, but the dollar is rising, has been rising. Okay, the market's been going up. So very interesting. Okay, in the VIX came to life yesterday. Look at that, a low at 11.52 and shot all the way up to 13.3. Ooh, you see that little VIX? We must have got a. All right, so now who knows? This could be a bottoming out of the VIX, and the market needs some type of correction. I don't know if that's true or not, but that's what we're looking at. All right, so let's get out of this. And another thing of beauty was the volume yesterday. The volume was nice and 125% of volume, like relative volume, beautiful volume. We got beautiful volume today, this morning. Okay, real quickly, we can look at that. I can show you that real quickly. The relative volume. It's very key to look at that. Okay, so let's look at that today. Today, we got ES at 95% volume, Nasdaq's at 81. All right, before or just earlier, it was like it was like close to 100, but that's pretty good. 96 out of 100 relative, 81 out of 100. I'll take it. Even though we got a holiday weekend coming, I'll take it. Like I said, this should die later on. Okay. All right. Now, let's move on to 8:30 time. It's all about structure. It's all about that market profile and volume profile, okay? Let's look at it together. Let's take this down. All right. Let's look at what happened. Now, it's a beautiful thing. Like I said, why do I chart the way I do? Right? It doesn't mean you have to, but it just means this is what helps me. Okay? What did I say about this level? 53.33. This is such a key level. Okay? And I said big moves happen from ultimate balance, right? Big moves happen from ultimate balance. Okay, if we break this down really quickly and see the price movement from yesterday, right? I want to show you guys something. And now, this is a good lesson in acceptance, okay? Look what the market did. Market opened. Pretty much open drive lower. Okay? Came down here, bounced, right? And look what it tried to do. It tried to make value above this level. Okay? Came up here, 3 30-minute periods, and then wham. Why? Because of this level. Right there. Now, single prints happened right there. And that's not a coincidence. That's because, boom, longs were sitting there and got crushed. And what did we do? We came down here and we filled the gap. Now, look at that gap. Gap fill was almost to the tick. All right, so I'm going to get rid of that on my chart. There's no longer a gap. And there's single prints here that were filled from the past. They are no longer there. Okay? All right. So what do we look like now structure wise, right? Here's our profile. Here's value, still there. Okay. All right. So the most traded price of the month and the week is still here, 53.33. Price is here. You're under it, right? Well, what is the job of the market to do? The job of the market is for the bears, right? They need to move this most traded price down here to yesterday's most traded price. Okay, and you can see the volume is the largest in this area, the value area, right? If we come down here and cannot sustain value here, okay, you cannot have value follow price with prices right here. If value cannot follow it and you can't build out volume and value here, the market's going to rip back to value. So that's really key today to see what the market does. Okay, now here's yesterday's highs, here's yesterday's lows. Okay, we went into a demand zone, bounced out. Now this is very bearish. Usually the most traded price of yesterday is here. Okay, here's that large volume. That's right there. Okay, and I'm going to show you something here. Okay, now there's a ton of single prints here. That's emotional selling. See how thin that volume is? Very thin. Very important, okay? So there's two things here. Single prints should not be resistant. Now, I say that should not be, okay? They shouldn't offer much resistance. Okay? Now, what if they do? That's bearish. Because the market, if it's strong enough, should rip through these. There's not much resistance. Look, only one-way trade here. That's why I have it on my chart. But if you get resistance like this and you can't fill those singles, can't clean them out, that is very bearish. Okay, now a couple levels here. 53.16 is the 50% retracement of yesterday's session. That lines right up with these single prints, so that's the level you got to have in your mind. 53.16, 50% Fibonacci, right? Also, you got the big level of the most traded price of the month and the week. Okay, now I'm throwing a lot at you here, but this is right out what screams at my charts, right? What's another thing to note? Well, look at the close here. Lines up with the most traded price of yesterday. Lines up with the overnight lows. Guess what the overnight is? It's 100% net long. And you're at the top of the range. It's 100% net long. Everyone's long overnight. Okay? So what does that make this? A weak low. Why? Because when you bounce off that bottom and you go here, you know what's here? Longs. So like I said, if this single prints act as resistance at all and we can't clean them, and you come back to this area and you take out that and you hold it, we are going to probably go lower. Okay? Now, so that's the roadmap I just laid out, right? That's the roadmap. So we're going to go, finally I can maybe do a bearish scenario first. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Alright, so I already noted. Here's a couple things. Okay, I'm going to put them out for the bear scenario. They probably will line up to for the bullish scenario. Well, let's be honest here. Couple things here. You got the bottom of this balance area. Let's call it right here. 53.10. You have 53.16s, the 50% Fibonacci retracement of yesterday. You have single prints here. Okay? I would think people would probably engage some selling in this area. Okay, so what the market could do, you're 100% net long. Here, there's a demand zone here as well. This market could do one or two things. It could either come down into this demand and start to turn up, and now you got to deal with this level here. And if you get resistance in single prints, which you should not, and starts going lower high, you're going to go back. Okay? And you're probably going to test yesterday's most traded price. And like I said, if you break this week low and hold, you're going to test yesterday's lows. Maybe hit this naked VPOC 5270. Then you have single prints underneath. We could possibly go to 5250. I don't know if that happens. I'm just giving you a for instance, okay? That's what I see. You got to be very careful. Now, big move happened yesterday. Sometimes the market will trade sideways the next day. Digest the move. Okay? This market keeps going up, right? Now, I just want you to keep in mind here that scenario, why that plays out. You got to think it psychologically, like I said. People bought that low. Okay? And then the most traded price happened to be here. These are people longing. Now, guess what the overnight did? They're all long, 100%. So what's going to happen from these people who bought the dip and they start to see this? Boom. Right? That's why I'm saying that scenario. I like that scenario. Okay. Now, bullish scenario. All right. Just the opposite. Just the opposite. Okay. I'm not getting involved in just a gap. No, it's not a gap. You got single prints here. Okay. So switch my mind here. Longs here. We have longs here, the most traded price of yesterday. We have a demand zone here. Okay, what I want to see is this, a push up. Okay, a push up. Now you could even clean these single prints out. Hit that 50% retracement. Hit the bottom of this breakout level here, these lows. Okay, let sellers take some quick profits. Remember, you're 100% net long. So this could be getting rid of some weak hands in the morning. And guess what you go into? This demand zone. And if the bulls defend this and you just go boof, higher low, you're going to rip. If these single prints aren't taken out, you're going to rip them. And what's going to happen is most likely, okay, think about this. Shorts were here, they got paid here. If you're holding a short and you start to do this, guess where you're going to go? Back to the most traded price of the month and the week, right back to the mean, reversion to the mean, 533. Now, do you take this out and you hold and hold, break the supply? I don't know. That's kind of crazy. Could possibly happen. I would say probable would be you hold that price into the weekend, into the 3-day weekend. Okay? Now, one other scenario with this. Okay. So, one other scenario with this, okay, is I could see it possibly being a bear trap is if the market does come in here, breaks this week low here, all right, around 52.84 or so, and you hit yesterday's lows, right? And you could think, oh boy, this is going lower, and you get one of these, whoop, higher low. That could also cause a nice bounce. All right, I'd have to see the market really not be that weak to look at that. All right, that is your ES scenarios. I hope everything makes sense to everyone. Okay, I'm gonna close it out here with the Nasdaq. Now look at the Nasdaq. The Nasdaq does look different. Okay, it's a different beast right now with Nvidia. Okay, so let's look at structure. How are we looking here? We've got a profile here. We got a value area here. We got excess to the top here. We have the most, now your ultimate balance on the Nasdaq. All right, 187.48 is the most traded price of the last month and the week, right there. Why? And look who's there, price. So the Nasdaq is really just in the most traded price of the last month and the last week. Nothing to see here. It's a magnet. It's a magnet. These prices are magnets. That's why I have them on my charts. Okay, everybody's deeming this the most fair price. A 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, right? Selling for 187.50. That's what the market's telling you the Nasdaq is worth. Everybody's agreeing upon that price. This is the value area. Okay, 70% of the trade or 70% of the market wants to buy that house at that price. Okay, that's how this works. It's just a big auction, the markets. Okay, you got single prints. All right, now look, let's look at the Nasdaq. Here's your highs. Here's your lows from yesterday. Huge session. We're inside yesterday. Here's the overnight high. Here's the overnight low. We're at this area here. It's not the best area to be in because just everybody agrees upon this price. Okay. Now, we have single prints from yesterday, right? One thing to note, I'm going to give you a difference. The most traded price of the Nasdaq was up here. Didn't make it down here. Did not make it down here. Okay. Now, what else can we look at? Here's the overnight inventory. Here's your shorts to longs. Almost 100% net long in this market. Okay. So, what you need to see in the Nasdaq, and like I said, Nvidia, I'm thinking it's going to keep going because of that split. It's going to get a lot cheaper for people to buy Nvidia. Okay. So you can buy 10 shares, like I said, and you'll have 100. So let's go into this. Okay. I don't have much time. I got to take my daughter to the bus. So all right. So this is what I see in the Nasdaq. All right. So since we're above the most traded price, okay, what I would like to see is a push up, maybe clean these single prints up. There's your 50%. of yesterday. Okay. Now look at the ES. So different, right? The ES broke a level like this, went down here, and it's still below it. The Nasdaq is all the way up here, so you can't get any different right now. All right. So you need to see this hold above this level. If it holds and you start doing this, you could start moving back up. Okay. Now, what if it doesn't? That's why this level is so important. Okay. If it doesn't hold and you start doing this, this is a weak low here with the close and the overnight lows here. Okay. Take that out. You probably test yesterday's lows. Okay. So, really quickly, we're going to get into some scenarios for the NASDAQ. I think I like the ES better right now. So, but we're going to talk about the bullish case. Okay. What can happen here? All right. All you want to see is the NASDAQ hold this level. All right. So you can go up, come back down. If you start holding, even do one of these, holding, you're going to start moving back up here. Probably test yesterday's most traded price. Okay. The next thing would be, all right, what the bulls need to defend is this weak low. If the market does come down here, and even if it does, boom, like this, and recovers higher low, well, then you have this big level. Okay. It's not the level you want to be. So then you can move up. All right. That's what I'm seeing there. As far as the shorts, all right, it's very difficult for the Nasdaq. So what you really need to see from me, you could do one or two things here. I would like to see this level be taken out, take out that demand zone, try to come back up, hold, and then you possibly could go down. That's what I see for the Nasdaq. All right. Hope everybody enjoyed that analysis today. Enjoy the 3-day weekend. No trading Monday. All right. And I'll see everybody back on Tuesday morning. So have a great holiday weekend and stay green. I'll see you guys Tuesday.